The majestic Himalayas are known as the king of mountains. Flowing down from these mountains is the Ganges, the most holy of rivers, born of all the sacred waters and personified as the goddess Ganga. The Himalayas have a magnetic attraction for people from across the world, and for Troika it was no exception. A music specialist for young children at the United Nations International School in New York City, and born in the Netherlands where she lived most of her life with her family, Troika Buchholz traversed across half the globe to the beautiful mountains of India, to the sacred city of Rishikesh, tucked away in the scenic foothills of the Himalayas. Adjacent to the holy Ganges River, Rishikesh is home to a host of temples and ashrams, and has become internationally known and affordable teacher training centers. One of these sites is the Beatles Ashram, now an art museum, where the Fab Four practiced transcendental meditation in the 1960s. Troika came to Rishikesh to a yoga school called Rishikesh Yogpeeth for a 9-month yoga teacher training course that included asana, pranayama, philosophy, anatomy, and chanting classes. But many times after the classes, village children would follow her, sometimes in droves. They were selling a variety of items or just desperately begging for food, ice cream, or rupees behind tired, innocent eyes.
You know, I have my own children at home, my twins, Ari and Bloom, and they were then 9 years old. And when I looked at the children's faces, I just saw my own children's faces.
One afternoon, she met a little girl named Anaji on the banks of the Ganges River, who showed her a simple pen drawing of a lotus flower on lined paper, which she was selling. Troika decided to purchase it from her. During the sweltering monsoon weeks ahead, Troika would see Anaji again and again. She sometimes took pictures of her or took her to buy some street food and sat with her and her friends. At the end of the month, she went to look for Anaji's home to give her some prints of the photographs she had taken. It was then that she discovered that, like nearly 11 million other kids in India, Anaji was a street child and had no home.
You know, it just broke my heart to think that these children didn't have parents or any foreseeable future.
The next summer, she returned to Rishikesh armed with a suitcase full of crayons, markers, watercolor paint, and paper, and spent the evenings doing art projects at sunset with Anaji's friends. They would use the water from the Ganges to dilute the paint. Every evening, when it wasn't raining, she would work with the children on drawings on the banks of the Ganges. Back in the USA, one of her neighbors, who was a graphic designer, helped her to turn these beautiful drawings and paintings into sets of gift cards. Fellow teachers and parents from the UN school bought the cards. Many of her friends, as well as her family in the Netherlands, would hold fundraisers to collect funds for these children, and soon the idea of starting the non-profit organization Children of the Ganges was born. Help for the children came from even other little children, like Maya, a 5-year-old student in Troika's class in the US. Maya fundraised together with her classmates for the benches that were to be made for the new school in Rishikesh. Maya and her father even brought a suitcase of donated library books to India.
Thank you, Maya, for the benches, and Happy New Year. Bye. Akash.
These drawings were so beautiful, and the fundraiser went so well that I thought, I should really start like an educational center. These children deserve to be heard and seen and respected.
Aarti, one of the street children, and her buddy put up flyers on walls, shops, and bridges to invite children to attend the school when they first started. In the sweltering heat, Aarti and her mother sold flowers every day that visitors would buy to make offerings to Ma Ganga. The Children of the Ganges, School for Rishikesh Street and Underprivileged Children, opened in the summer of 2011 at the Narayana Kunj Hotel, which donated its basement to use as the school's location for a 3-year term. The space was cold and moldy. Finding a great permanent space for the school turned out to be a constant struggle. Today, this non-profit offers night schooling and warm meals to about 40 children 6 days a week. It is registered in India under the Societies Registration Act 1860.
The next summer, I decided to take my own children with me to India, and with a whole bunch of books. And, it was not an easy travel. We would come to the school, and then, the children would just eat, and they would looking around, being picky, and, they realized that, they're privileged. But you know what? They also realized that they like to laugh together and play tag and run around the Ganges and eat ice cream, just like children do everywhere.
The classes are split between 2 age groups, ages 5 to 10 and 11 to 16, with boys and girls seated separately in the same classroom. They learn a number of subjects: English, Hindi, computers, math, yoga, Kathak, which is an Indian classical dance, art, music, nature, and meditation. They are also exposed to subjects that volunteers share with them. In the beginning, Yogi Ji, a local yoga teacher, helped manage the school, and he now sits on its board of directors. Swati, whom Troika met at the local bookstore, is the head teacher and has been with her since the start. Others work at the school, and Radha, a widow, cooks the vegetarian food. She prepares hot meals that are provided every evening for the children and the teachers.
How can you even learn when you're so hungry? How can you focus? And, after they say a prayer and after they collect the first bite for the cows, after the meal, they would feed the cows, holy cows. Then they would just be so quiet, and they just would eat and focus on eating. And they always wanted to have seconds, and they're just always happy to be there.
The school provides free education regardless of the children's religion, caste, gender, or social status. Some of the children attend state schools in the morning, while for others, this is their only formal education. The teachers and the many volunteers hope to inspire the children to become leaders motivated to bring peace, happiness, and well-being to their community. While the local teachers receive a monthly salary, Troika works on an entirely voluntary basis.
There was one in the bed, and the little one said, "Now I can go to bed."
Bala, her husband, came to love the children and the school and became an annual volunteer. Finding a permanent space for the school turns out to be a big challenge. And so, with the help of volunteers, Troika hopes to build a bottle school, an eco-friendly building made using recycled bottles that are then filled with plastic that you, unfortunately, can find all around town and in the Ganga. The school is a cost-effective dream that will help clean the community But with 3,000 to 4,000 densely packed bottles required for a single room, it will prove labor intensive, and so a lot of helping hands will be needed.
I could be a teacher, teach children just like me. I could be a singer, singing my song, making people happy. When they sing along, all I need is a helping hand.
She is also hoping to lead more service retreats where volunteers can travel to Rishikesh to help with the school's day-to-day affairs and share their talent and expertise.
No desvíes la mirada, quédate cerca de mí.
In these retreats, guests can practice yoga, browse Indian bazaars, and color each other with vibrant powder in honor of India's festival of colors, Holi, which celebrates new beginnings. Managing the school remotely is a challenge. The time difference and the frequent power outages in Rishikesh often thwart communication. Notwithstanding that, she spoke not a word of Hindi when she organized the school. Funding came in from many different sources from all over the world. A penny drive at the UN school in New York, yogathons, donation-based yoga lessons conducted in Italy, Kazakhstan, France, and China, to name a few. Many fundraisers came from volunteers who visited the school and just loved the project and the children.
I can. I will. I conquer.
Troika's dedication to children at home and across the globe are a part of her personality and philosophy. After her first trip to Rishikesh, she searched for Anaji, the girl who started it all but never found her. Her friends told her that she had left for the city.
Doing yoga and teaching after 6 months.
Raj was one of the first students of the school and is now a fine young man employed locally as a yoga teacher.
Nice to see you. You were one of the first students.
The journey that began with a yoga teacher training, taking photographs of children and making drawings on the street, has turned into so much more.
To the children of the Ganges, I am here to say I love you.
Yes, thank you.
And I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Troika discovered that yoga helped with it all, especially the type of yoga that was not taught in the teacher training, Karma Yoga.
Yoga helped, and it teaches you to live from the heart, to think from the heart. And these are the things that I learned in India, in Rishikesh. And to follow your tuition, to go with the flow, just like how the Ganges is flowing forever. We're all one. We're all one with the universe.
Along the banks of the Ganges, we used to run barefoot, pockets empty, but hearts full of dreams that no one ever understood. And then one day, a helping hand, a kind heart touched our lives, and we began from a new start. Books in hands, pens in pockets, new dreams in the eye were sown. A little sunshine, a little water was needed to help the plant that's now grown. Our heart never stops to thank those souls who motivate us to achieve all our goals. It's just because of them we have all we know, for it's people like them who make the world grow. Our love for you is as pure as Ganga. Our gratitude is deep and true. For all you've done for us, we owe the biggest thanks to you. For all you've done for us, we owe the biggest thanks to you.